Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hoovy186 back again with another video. And before I get to the main topic, let me give you a quick rundown of PSX 2015. It wasn't good. Like I caught it near the end of the Capcom presentation with Yoshinori Ono. That dude's awesome. But everything else after that just didn't do anything for me. They showed some cool little indie games and stuff like that, but it wasn't nothing that excited me, to be honest with you. And the VR stuff, I don't give a shit about VR. So um, it really didn't do nothing for me. They showed off Epic's game. That was the last thing that they showed. Um, I don't know. I didn't like it. So let's move on. 'Cause I don't want to spend much time on that. The main topic at hand was PS2 Emulation. Was announced a while back. Um, and what was I at? Yeah, it was announced a while back, and the pricing came out yesterday. I believe some of those games. I believe those games should be available today. They have a couple games, and before I go with the pricing, let me talk about the idea behind it and what they're actually doing with emulation. Because when it was announced, we had no idea how it was going to be done. With some of the Star Wars games from the PS2, the way that it was discovered that it was done through emulation. So and what happened was what they did was they kind of bumped up the resolution. They got it to 60 FPS with some of these games, and like it looked like a better game. It looked like an improved version of those games, and that kind of gave us an indication of what was going to be for the future. And as you can see, that's kind of like the selling point for these new PS2. I guess you call them remasters. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna be up res. They're gonna be upscaled to 1080p, I believe, and 60 FPS. They improved the game basically, and I prefer this way of emulation over. Well, I mean, okay, let me put it like this: in a perfect world, if I have a disc from a PS1, PS2, or PS3, in a perfect world, I could just put that motherfucker in the PS4 and it'll work. Like that. That's just in a perfect world. But if with the option of just sticking the disc in, outside of that, just sticking the disc in, I prefer them doing it this way. Outside of basically, I know a lot of people are going crazy over, oh, I can't transfer my the PS2 games that I bought from PS2 from PS3 and bring it over. I mean, they never said that it was going to happen. Like when they made, I think, according to what I remember, they made it clear that digital content, outside of cross-buy games, were not coming over. They made that clear, and like I mean, does it suck? Of course it sucks, but I didn't expect it. Like I have a couple of I think I have like one PS2 classic on my PS3. I mean, I didn't expect it to move over. And also, if I can play old games, like if I can play old games in a better way, like with higher res and better graphics, then I'm fine with that. Like I much rather prefer that than just playing an old PS2 game just out there, because some of those games don't age well, and some of those games could use some of those new features that the PS4 can do. Like it just for me. Now, as far as the pricing goes, that's a different story. Like for me, look, I just recently during Black Friday, I bought Street Fighter Ultra Street Fighter 4 for $15. I bought the game originally in 2011 on my PS3 for $30. I bought two expansion packs for it, $15 each. One of the expansion packs were not that good. I gotta be honest with you. I think that was the arcade edition expansion. It was not really that good. I bought DLC for it, and at the end of the day, I wanted to transfer it over. I knew it wasn't gonna carry over to the PS4 digitally. Even though I bought the game disc. But yeah, I knew it wasn't gonna carry over. But I loved the game that much, so I decided to buy it again, have it on my PS4, and that's it. Like that's just how it is. Like if you love the game that much, you'll pay for it, and especially if the game is improved, you're gonna pay for it. Now $15, like for me, $15. I'll put it to you like this: you have a ledge. You got a little. You're teetering on the edge of a mountain, right? And $15 like right there. You're still good. You're still good. You can still stand, do whatever, but a little nudge and you tip over. Like I don't have a huge issue with the price tag. I don't like I don't because at the end of the day, if you like it that much, if you're into trophy hunting, if you're into like playing old games, a better version of your old games, then like $15 to me is not a big deal for me. Now I understand it is for other people. I don't want to dismiss other people's concerns, but to me, it's not really a big deal. And a lot of people look at, well, what about Microsoft? Now, the way Microsoft is doing their backwards compatibility is fine, but at the end of the day, neither one of these consoles is doing backwards compatibility the way it's supposed to be. Like the only console that does backwards compatibility the way it's supposed to be is Nintendo, and with the Wii U, and you don't see me rushing out to buy one anytime soon. So it is what it is. Me personally, I don't put that much stock in backwards compatibility. At the end of the day, I buy a new console to play new games. Like if it had backwards compatibility, that's fine. Like I don't want to I don't want to dismiss that, but it's not. I'm not hanging all my eggs in that basket. You know what I mean? It's just not for me. And if these companies were actually serious about backwards compatibility, it would have been there from the jump, like it was with the Wii U. I'm just saying. So I guess my overall point is that I'm surprised that people are surprised by this. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand why people are surprised by this. Like and people are like, well, Microsoft doesn't have to charge you. Well, it's a different situation with Microsoft because those games on the 360, those games are not they're not that much different from the Xbox One games as far as licensing fees and and architecture between the two consoles. They're I don't want they're not the same, but they're similar. You know what I mean? Like they're not that drastic. And a lot of the features that the Xbox One does, the 360 does. With the PS2, you're talking about completely different console, completely different era in gaming. Period. You know what I mean? Like, and if I'm gonna play a better version of a game that I love, a game and make it playable for 2016, then shit, then I would pay for it. But it has to be a game that I care about that much in order for me to do it. You know what I mean? Like for like games like I want to see how Vice City fares on Digital Foundry if they do a test on that. But if I had some extra money, I wouldn't mind paying $15 to replay Vice City with trophy support and 60 FPS. Like it's a dream of mine to play Grand Theft Auto 60 frames per second. And obviously I don't own a gaming PC. I'm sorry, PC Master Race. I don't own one. So it would be awesome to play a Grand Theft Auto game in 60 FPS. You know what I mean? But again, I understand people's frustrations. You're paying. They're like you're paying $15 for old games and stuff like that. I understand, but to me, I'm not surprised because what gave you the indication that they were going to give, have it have the disc in and just put it in and you're good. Like there's too many holes there's too many exploits that can happen that way. You know what I mean? Listen, I get it, but at the end of the day, like I prefer it this way. Now the price can go either or, but the way they're doing it, I'm fine with it. You know what I mean? If you're not, then that's cool. Like I don't want to call people crybabies or nothing like that because at the end of the day, we're all consumers and we all have our right to voice our displeasure with our products and what we invest in. So as long as you do it in as long as you do it in a nice way, like I'm cool with it. As long as you're not harassing, the good people who are trying to, bring you great content every day. Like that's really it. Like thankfully, it's not as long as I thought it would be. But anyways, leave your thoughts below. I'm interested to hear your feedback. If you agree, disagree, I'm all good. But anyway, this will be 186.